When you own a farm, one thing about owning a farm and owning a homestead and having animals and doing this thing that we call life, this life that we choose to live, there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be heartaches, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to cost.
You ever wonder if days like these last?
But when you raise animals like we do, we see so much. We raise hundreds of animals a year, and today is one of those days. It's called Food Sustainability Day. It is castration day. So nobody likes that. We have to have animal husbandry on the farm, but one of the other things we have to have on the farm is raising babies and understanding raising babies. You have females and they're going to provide more babies, or they're going to be sold to other farms to provide for them. Well, males on the farm means you either are basically raising them for food, which is what we're doing with a lot of these, or we're raising them to be animal husbandry, to make new babies. So those two things add a lot of stress to the farm. And today is one of those days because ultimately we're having a great day. We're doing a lot of things. We're getting stuff done for Misty. Actually, she's still under the weather a little bit, but we have to, you know, just, it's spring, it's pretty time. So we're getting the pool ready. We're painting furniture. We're doing the thing. So we go from, you know, farming in the morning to then turning around and for the first part of the morning doing some chores before we start doing more animal chores. So it's a never dull day. We always are busy, and right now we said, you know what, it's time to get things done around the house, and then we will worry about the castration this afternoon. Dr. Case, our good friend that is our vet, local vet that comes and helps us do all these things. You've seen him in several videos dealing with the horses, the cattle, and having especially professional help and professional questions asked to him because he knows so much, and that helps us, but also hopefully helps you. Well, one of those questions I was going to ask him today, because it was castration day. And what that means is sometimes when people ask us questions, they'll say, okay, you know, how did this happen, or why did this happen? Well, we're not professionals. We believe that we know a lot, but ultimately we rely on our professionals to tell us that. So we have Dr. Case here, and we are starting to do the castration, and then all of a sudden the crap hits the fan, basically.
With one another, with the feeling pass, would you find out with me if it all starts to crumble? We'll search the pieces for a hope or a mumble. It's not for me to decide if I should be the one by you.
Man, smells like boo-boo.
It is boo-boo. They're only rose bed.
Rose bed.
Raised bed.
A rose bed? That's rose bed.
Raised bed. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, we're going to get some dirt and we're going to...
Does that stink, Ellie?
Yes.
Does that stink, Mama? A little bit.
All right, Lots. A little bit, it stinks ton.
Man, these beds look good.
They do. My yarrow that I got is looking actually
It looks
amazing.
really nice.
Come on.
It does. I'm glad to have that.
It's actually putting out just like we need it to.
Yeah, it is. It's starting to look really good. My lemongrass is coming back, so I'll see some more.
Yeah, that looks good too. That rosemary has grown a good bit since we planted it. Bye, girls.
Are you eating my strawberry?
First strawberry of the season, and look how good it looks. Oh my gosh.
Jennings, Daddy's about to take your strawberry. Here he comes.
No, it's mine. You want a bite? We'll half it. How about that? You got the good half.
Was it good?
A little bit or a little bit, but
Was it still a
Very
little sour, Jen?
very juicy though.
Yeah.
It's probably all that extra rabbit manure we put on it. Hey, watch this. Misty doesn't know we're looking at her, but she's moving the thing. Hold on. Jennings is upset that Misty's on this tractor. Was it fast enough for you?
Actually faster than you think.
Faster.
This is what happens when kids don't put their toys up. Mama
Hey,
has to ride it up, put it up.
Who's the best driver, you or Jennings?
Probably me.
Are you sure about that? So we have been extremely busy this morning. We've been painting furniture, doing the kind of pretty thing, put this up here. But today is a day that nobody likes. It is castration day. So we have actually got piglets and sheep, little rams that we actually have to take care of. And that's what we're gonna be doing right now. Dr. Case is here. We're gonna see what we can do to get these piglets taken care of first, then we gotta catch the sheep.
Do you want me to help them? You catch them?
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.
Do you think that solid black will be okay? He cut the 3. Now I want to talk about this because we just had a question and one actually happened. When we cut them, we made the 2 slits like we always do. We saw instead of just being to get the castration done, basically to cut him, what happened?
So what that is, there's sometimes they'll have a little inguinal hernia right there. So any pressure they put on their abdomen, it will actually herniate right there. And even a small hole, a little bit of fat can come out from the inguinal ring. So you can push it back in if they stay upright. Sometimes it'll stay in there. Sometimes it takes a couple of stitches to stitch it, but it's an inguinal hernia.
Was someone was just sent me a picture of this the other day and they lost the piglet. But it's probably because they didn't know what they were doing. So like you did, you just kind of pushed it back in there.
Push it back in. Hopefully it stays back in. If anything more comes out, then we'll have to stitch it because it can't. Because what it is, it's a hole in the outside from your intestines outside. So
Okay.
what you don't want to do is entrap a piece of intestine or get an infection or something.
Okay.
But you have a lining in there that was still intact, so hopefully it'll be okay.
3, he's laying down, so we might want to watch
Probably
him.
coming, yeah, watch him for me.
Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.
Now the lambs.
You fill my head with roses.
So what happened was we got done with all the castrations. We finished the sheep, and after we finished the sheep, we decided to go back and check the little piglet that was the first one cut. A family friend had this exact same thing happen. Of course, they lost the piglet. For us, I didn't want that to happen, so that's why I said, Dr. Case, what do you think? So when we went back and realized that where the slit was, the hernia had now herniated out.
All right,
let's get to the goal.
I'm gonna meet you there. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Okay, that's fine. I'll meet you there. There's nothing we can do on farm. If we want to save this piglet's life, we're going to the animal hospital. So Dr. K said, hey, just meet me there, load him up, and we'll try to do all we can to save it. So it's to a point where we've heard this hernia story several times, especially from someone local that it just happened to, and so we just realized there's no way we're gonna be able to keep this pig. This pig will die. This is what we were afraid of, and we were talking about. We cut a lot of pigs, and we had a viewer the other day talk about this, and basically he had a hernia, and when we cut it, it exposed it, and now he's got some of his insides coming out of where he was cut. The only way to save him is for Dr. K to actually go in there and stitch it all back in. The problem is, can he not get infected and be okay? If not, there's no helping him, and he will actually just die. We'll actually have to put him down. Risk of cutting pigs, but if you're raising pigs for meat, it's the best thing to still do is to cut them. And you know, that's one of the 3 that's after these 3, so basically that would be 2023's meat, and we just didn't need to lose this piglet. It's one of those situations where we depend on the piglets coming on farm that we raise from the mamas to ultimately give us food for next year. So I said, we gotta do all we can. So here we are, we're loading the piglet up, going to the hospital. Literally do all we can to save the pig. We could not just tuck the hernia in and it just stay. If he would have probably stayed still and didn't have the, of course, dealing with the castration and the uncomfort of that, the pig may have been fine right here on farm. The kicker was he was moving around. Again, he was trying to eat, he was trying to move, he was trying to get water, he was trying to get comfortable, and that's when that hernia actually come out of the incision. Now we're taken to the hospital. The thing we were worried about is him running around, him jumping around, him not calming down, and that hernia being able to be pushed out, and it was. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to save his life and try to keep him. He is just meat for us. That's exactly what he is. But this is why we try to cut early. This is why we try to have as many litters as we do, because ultimately things happen, and as much as we hate that, it's life with animals, and we know that. So just like today, we've had 7 castrations that worked out great. Or excuse me, 6 of the 7 worked out great. Last time we had about 6 work out great out of the 6. This is the first time out of cutting 20 or 30 pigs on our farm that we've seen an issue like this. So it happens, not a lot, but it happens, and we're gonna try to do all we can to hopefully get him back in. The problem is, Dr. K said it's not, is he gonna, can he get it all back in? That's not the problem. The hernia, he can fix the hernia. But like he said, the problem is when he exposes himself and his hernia comes out, the question is there any infection that is set up? That's the thing that he's most worried about. So that's why he actually left right before I did, heading there to try to make sure he's got everything set up. He's gonna try to put it all back in and hopefully save this piglet's life. All right, we've made it here. We're gonna see what we can do. It's a waiting game to see if this little piglet will make it. It's gonna be one of those things where now he's gotta go in and he's gotta go to the clinic. He's gotta turn around and he's gotta surgically basically close off everything and kind of fix this hernia in this little piglet. I think the hardest part for us is deciding, you know, you're investing in this pig. This is not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to have to take this pig to a vet. But at the same time, we don't want to just kill the pig because we think that it may not be as bad as what we thought. So at this point, we're going to try to do all we can to save this pig's life, because we believe ethically and morally that's the smart thing to do, because ultimately we caused this, not caused it, you know, on purpose, and we didn't actually do it. It's just he had a hernia and then all of a sudden it got exposed. But one good thing is now we are correcting the situation, or hopefully correcting the situation, and hopefully that will give him a better life as he lives prior to providing for our farm. So ultimately, we don't want any of our animals in any kind of pain, period, no matter what the situation is. That's why if we are choosing to cull an animal because an animal is sick, or we're choosing to give antibiotics when we choose not to give antibiotics, we don't want any animals to just suffer. So our goal is to get the animal well, even if we sell the animal, or even if we cull the animal, no matter what we do in the future, we don't want to just have a suffering animal. That's not what we're supposed to do, ethically or morally. As a Christian, of course, and as a farmer that believes in regenerative ag and understanding sustainability, we want to make sure that we're doing all that we can for our animals and giving them the best life possible. And this is one of those situations where we take it to the next step and say, okay, we're investing in a pig that we probably, it's really a loss if this pig even makes it, because ultimately we have cost in this pig that we're not seeing. But his life will be better. He'll still provide for us no matter what if he makes it. If we have to cull him or he does not make it because of a hernia issue, then we've realized then it's a loss. When you own a farm, one thing about owning a farm and owning a homestead and having animals and doing this thing that we call life, this life that we choose to live, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be heartaches. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to cost. There's going to be a lot of times that we're going to see animals not make it. There's going to be a lot of times that we have successes. If we have 10 castrations and all of a sudden one goes bad, we'll worry about that one and not the 9 that were successful, even though we're so glad that the others worked out okay. 3 years of castrations we've done basically on farm, numerous castrations dealing with sheep and pig and even cattle. To have one castration that goes bad, it bothers us. It makes me nervous. It makes you think every time, what if this happens next time? What if this happens every time? It always worries you. So now we're in a waiting game to see is this pig gonna make it? And we gotta wait and see what happens. But to end the story, in these animals, like I said, it's not a hobby for us. It's not just pets. It's our lifestyle. And this provides food for our life. Now, can we go buy pork chop at Walmart? We can, but that's not what we do. We don't want it like that. We want our food raised on our farm, knowing it's raised to the best of the ability it can be. So now look at him. He's doing great. So look at him. He's looking really good. He's up walking, no issues whatsoever. Of course, his brothers did phenomenal, no issues. The older ones in the forest, no issues. And things just happen, they're freak accidents. There's nothing you can do other than try to do your best to save their life. And we did. He's doing great. So again, thank you to our vet, who is phenomenal. We're enjoying this life together. We're enjoying doing this as a family. We enjoy the lifestyle that we're choosing. It is not a hobby here at all. There's days I do not want to do what we're doing. Do you think I want to do a castration yesterday when I could just swim with the kids? No. But it's a life that we choose because we want to clean up our diet. We want better food. We want better quality food. And we know the only way to have better quality food is when we're raising ourselves and know what we're putting into the animals and knowing they're providing for us. So all in all, everybody's good today. The hospital visit went according to plan. It's another day on the farm, because that's what farming is. Ups and downs and riding it together and understanding we are building a life here and a future hopefully for our children to understand true sustainability. Having animal husbandry on the farm, having meals on the farm, having babies on the farm can be stressful, but it's worth it. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.